Oh, that's real good.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel Penny Lesson. We talk about everything finance, from tips on making money and proper investing to news about the different economies and situations affecting the global markets. The goal of this channel is not only to teach you how to be more financially responsible but also to teach you how to be more aware of global events. So why not just sit back and relax while we tell you what's happening in the finance sphere? Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be constantly updated on my latest videos. Remember, one penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Government-owned banks offer loans with the same interest rate as deposits. Suppose Wells Fargo lent Walmart $10 billion at 10% APR. Walmart must pay 10% annually, or $1 billion. Wells Fargo will simultaneously provide 10% interest on $10 billion deposits as the loan. Walmart will deposit the $10 billion loan in Wells Fargo's account. Walmart turns 10% on $1 billion in deposits. Walmart pays and receives $1 billion in interest from the same bank. That's a 0% net interest rate. Thus, $10 billion vanished. Walmart may keep the $10 billion loan for free. It improves loan volume by $10 billion. The government manipulated the credit market to make it look flourishing. While theoretically lawful, the CCP creates artificial lending. The CCP is also lending money to itself. To illustrate, Wells Fargo and Citibank lend each other $10 billion at 10%. Both banks pay $1 billion. Thus the net is $0. China's banks expend loan activity for free with this method. Nobody wants loans, so the CCP manipulates data. The PBC slashed 4 key interest rates to help the economy. The PBOC decreased its one-year loan prime rate twice in 2022. Chinese officials aim to grant property developers $29.2 billion in loans. This is in addition to China's $145 billion property fund. Zhejiang, an electronics provider, demonstrates how desperate the CCP is for loans. Bloomberg reports that Zhejiang has received a dozen low-interest loan proposals while declaring it is not borrowing. Zhejiang CEO Albert understands his company's growth prospects are low. Therefore, there's little use in lending money. When consumer activity is minimal, imagine getting a dozen loan offers. The CCP will do anything to support the credit market. This difficulty is that offering loans to every mid-cap company will result in defaults. Monthly bad loans increase. China's credit market has weakened even to CCP's figures. First time since 2017, China's money supply grew faster than credit. China's GDP is weak. China's second quarter GDP fell 2.6%. CCP advised citizens to buy new homes to save China's economy. The Chinese aren't dumb. They've shared the CCP's stupid property announcement on social media. Chinese citizens realize property prices could collapse by 40 to 50 in the next 6 months. China's banking system is on the verge of collapse because of its property market. A continuous mortgage boycott has overdue over $300 billion. Chinese paid mortgages on unbuilt houses. This allowed property developers to use the money to offer more pre-sale houses, forming a pyramid. The CCP permitted the Ponzi scheme to continue because it boosted China's economy. China's government is now cracking down on the corrupt real estate industry. Over the past month, China's National Audit Office has conducted and scheduled reviews of its trust industry. The National Audit Office destroyed Alibaba, Tencent, and Group, and other firms' value. How does this relate to China's trust industry audit? To answer, we must define trust. Trust funds handle future generations' assets. China's $3 trillion trust market gives managers incentive to cheat investors. Trust managers invested trust assets riskily during China's housing bubble. China's housing crisis exposes trust industry difficulties. Some trust companies have defaulted a total of $8.6 billion in assets. Recent evidence shows trust funds are risky investments. China's National Audit Office is investigating 20 trust businesses to assess if they represent a risk to China's financial system. After auditing the enterprises, Beijing policymakers will receive recommendations. Beijing politicians will then adopt regulations to protect the trust industry. As witnessed in prior NAO audits, such risky behavior will wreck the economy. Some economists compare the audit to playing with fire. Like mortgage-backed securities in the 2008 U.S. housing recession, everyone thought trust funds were safe investments until the industry fell apart. The Chinese trust business could take down China's financial infrastructure, but is not the only sector under investigation. China is also targeting the fake real estate industry. CCP probes senior CEOs and property developers. 4 officials suspected of major law offenses. China's 2008 recession is multi-pronged, unlike the U.S. China's international lending crisis could affect housing considerably more. Since President Xi's 2013 election, he's lent trillions to China's surrounding countries through Belt and Road Initiative. Xi wants to grow China's interconnected market. By lending money to neighboring countries, China created a dependent market. In practice, the BRI is a nightmare. The BRI gives China's neighbors easy access to loans, which helps develop its market. This is problematic in practice. BRI loans are a danger to the borrowing economy. BRI loans have hefty interest and scarcely generate economic returns for the borrowing country. China uses the borrowing country's riches as collateral to protect itself. As BRI loans are high risk, China can quickly take over the borrowing country's resources. Because BRI loans are easy to get, debtors often waste them. Fraud is more common in borrowing countries. 35% of the BRI infrastructure portfolio has corruption problems, environmental dangers, and demonstrations. 21% of CCP infrastructure projects have similar issues. Sri Lanka used BRI loans to create a conference center, port, airport, stadium, and highways. A few years after initiating BRI lending, Sri Lanka defaulted on its loans, and China seized 70% of Sri Lanka's deep-sea port. Sri Lanka is just one of several countries that fell into China's financial trap. To satisfy its debt, Tajikistan gave China land and mineral rights. BRI hurts both the borrower and China. Russia missed a $100 million interest payment, defaulting on its debt. China lent Russia $932 billion through BRI. China's $1 trillion in loans to Russia have vanished. BRI lending is undoubtedly in the trillions. Early 2020, Refinitiv put the BRI's value at $4 trillion. The dollar-to-yuan rate just achieved a 2-year high, lowering the yuan. The weaker yuan makes Chinese goods cheaper for the West, causing China's neighbors to decrease their pricing. The yuan crisis slows down export-driven countries, raising BRI loan default risk. First international debt crisis for China, with institutional loans tripling in the past 2 years. Pakistan, Argentina, Belarus, Egypt, Mongolia, Nigeria, Turkey, Ukraine, and Sri Lanka have trash status. It may have survived if China had used cash to pay BRI loans. Most of this lending was from China borrowing money from others. Countries like the U.S. lent money to China so it could lend to neighboring countries. China faces the last 2 coffin nails. Hong Kong's COVID crisis was the first. Hong Kong's economy crumbled from COVID because it depends on international trade. International visitors to Hong Kong were once quarantined for 21 days. 7 days later, it was down to 3. Unsurprisingly, COVID instances have skyrocketed. In 3 months, COVID cases in Hong Kong rose from 250 to 10,000 each day. In a conventional economy, this would be okay, but China isn't. China has a zero-COVID policy to eliminate the country. Hong Kong-China travel is frequent. One pleasant Hong Kong to China traveler is enough to lock down millions. China's COVID cases have risen alongside Hong Kong's. Xi'an, a city near Beijing, was recently quarantined after a COVID case was detected. One COVID patient forced 384,000 people to lock down. Hainan, a metropolis of 2.9 million, closed after a COVID outbreak. Hong Kong's COVID trajectory will collapse China's economy, But it's not the only factor. China is experiencing one of its worst droughts in decades. High temperatures are drying up parts of the Yangtze River. The Yangtze River in Wuhan has been at its lowest level since 1865. The Yangtze River is China's longest and most used cargo river. China must ship by truck because the river has shrunk. A ship's cargo requires 500 vehicles. Less efficient delivery methods reduce company profitability. As a result, consumers and businesses will confront supply shortages. Thousands of trucks will increase traffic. This hurts China's economy. China sources much of its hydroelectric power from the Yangtze River. Cities are out of control because the river is drying up. Foxconn, Toyota, and CATL had to shut down owing to a lack of electricity. China's economy is struggling as the drought worsens. COVID and shortage will worsen China's economic crisis. As China's economy deteriorates, layoffs occur. In the past 3 months, Alibaba cut 10,000 jobs. China's youth unemployment rate is 20%, greater than 2020. China may be in a recession, with worldwide repercussions. A recent study indicated China is pressuring foreign companies. Wow, was that news? Why not ponder it? Want to know the latest? Comment if you want more articles like this. This video is just one of many videos on my channel that brings you the latest news about the world of global finance and economics. So go hit that subscribe button if you don't miss out on content like these. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Thank you for all your support, and I'll see you again next time. Remember, 1 penny lesson a day keeps being penny less away. Cheers.